I said it before, and I'll absolutely say it again. Spider-Man 2 is one of the best games I've ever played. This video isn't a review on it or anything. In fact, I'm not going to talk too much about the main story of this game or anything. If you want to know what I think, go watch the review I made. But yeah, this game is absolutely amazing, but I really wanted more after the main story. And now that I've gotten all the trophies and 100%ed it, I have one thing on my mind. What's Spider-Man 3 going to be like? And yeah, we know there's going to be Spider-Man 3 because of the post-credit scenes. And there were just so many things in the story that were left unfinished or teased, and they need to be finished. So today, I'm just going to go over my predictions of what's going to happen in Spider-Man 3, the characters that are going to be in it, and just maybe a little bit of gameplay stuff I hope that's in there. Let's not waste any more time and get into it. This segment will definitely be the longest. I'm just going to go over the characters we pretty much know are going to be in it, and the characters that I want to be in it. I'll explain what I think they're going to do with these characters in the next segment. Firstly, we have Carnage, or Cletus Cassidy. I personally think this is more of a fit for Spider-Man 2 DLC, but I wouldn't mind if they saved it for Spider-Man 3. I think it'd be so cool to fight Carnage in these games, because he's definitely one of the coolest symbiotes in my opinion. And I believe the setup to Carnage is going to lead to a really good payoff. This isn't my art of Green Goblin, or what he could look like, but I definitely think he's going to be the main villain of this game. I mean, they've been setting it up for the past 2 games, and especially at the end of Spider-Man 2 where he hates Spider-Man, so he's going to want to get revenge on him. They also set up the emotional side of Green Goblin, because he said that Peter was always like a son to him. So seeing them fight would be a little bit emotional, I think, but they might have to set it up a little bit more in Spider-Man 3. And yeah, I mean, we obviously know he's coming. This is not a prediction because he said, get the G Serum ready. I think it's just really cool that they're saving Spider-Man's most iconic villain for the final game. A character I really want to come back and have a bigger role is Doc Ock, because he probably won't be mad at Norman this time. I mean, he still will be. But he's going to be mad at Spider-Man. He's going to want to kill Spider-Man. Since Doc Ock knows Peter is Spider-Man, that could lead to a very interesting conflict that happened in the MCU where his identity gets out. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. But I just think that bringing Doc Ock back would be a genius move, and it would be really cool because I really enjoyed him in the first game. Next, we have the Chameleon. Again, I think he would be better in the DLC because he was more set up in this game. But I wouldn't hate for him to be in the next game. Like I said, I definitely think he's going to be in the DLC because he's Kraven's brother, and Kraven was one of the main villains of this game. It would just fit perfectly, but if he isn't in the DLC, I'd love to see him in the next game. Because he would be a very interesting foe for Spider-Man to face, with him changing appearances and all that. Next up is Silk, aka Cindy Moon. There's a reason she was set up in the post-credit scene. We pretty much know she's going to be in this game. I'm probably going to talk a lot more about Silk in my next segment of this video. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see her because we don't see that many interpretations of her. Next are characters I just want to see in the game that haven't been confirmed at all. Firstly, we have Wolverine. We already know Insomniac's making a Wolverine game, and since Spider-Man 3 is probably coming out after that, I think it'd be really cool if we could just see Wolverine in this game. I mean, we know they're in the same universe, so if they could just come together, that would be so cool. Even if it's just for one mission, I wouldn't care. Next up, we have Daredevil. He was hinted at in, I think, the last game. I'm not sure, I know he was hinted at some point. But kind of like Wolverine, I hope they come up, even if it's just for one mission. And if it's related to Kingpin, that would be really cool. But yeah, if it's just for one mission, I wouldn't mind. Or if Daredevil's like Miles or Peter, and they can just help you take out crimes. That would be really cool. I didn't actually consider this, but Daredevil could be like one of the little collectible challenges, little things, where you have to go around the map and get all of them. And then once you get all of them, you meet Daredevil. I think that would be pretty interesting. I don't know, just a theory. On the topic of heroes, we need to see the Avengers. I mean, they have the Avengers Tower in the game. Have they just been saving it for something? I've been hoping for other heroes to come out ever since Spider-Man 2 came out, but we didn't get that in the story when we probably should have because Venom was a worldwide threat. If Venom won, then the whole world would be covered in his goo. But where were the Avengers? They seem to take on worldwide threats like every other week. Not in this universe. I guess they just leave it to Spider-Man because it's his mess and he has to clean it up. Just please, let them be in this game. It could be 1 or 2, I wouldn't care. It would be Hawkeye and I would be happy. Justice for the Avengers. Look, I'm not asking for Spider-Gwen or anything. That could be its whole separate game. I don't know, I think it'd be neat for Gwen Stacy to be in the game. This is probably the one I want the least. I just think it'd be cool to see Gwen Stacy help out Spider-Man or something. And no, I don't want her to be the love interest because Peter and MJ and all that. And that's pretty much it for the characters I want to see. Not that many, but I'm just pretty excited to see the characters that have already been confirmed. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment, which is... Okay, so one thing I think would be really cool is Green Goblin come to Doc Ock, and he's like, yo, we both hate Spider-Man, alright? Let's tear them apart, let's unalive them, okay? I'll break you out, I'm the mayor, we got this. Even though we hate each other, I think we can do this together. Then Doc Ock's like, seems chill, alright, let's go. And then they come together to fight Miles and Peter, and eventually Silk. Now, chances of this happening are probably really low. I'm not a story writer at all, but I think it would be really cool because I really like stories where two people who hate each other come together to fight one common enemy. I think that would be pretty decent for this plot. One thing I'd hate to say that might happen is Peter dying. I don't want this to happen, but I think it will. We've seen Peter grow throughout these 2 games and how people rely on him, how much people love him. And we feel connected to him because we played as him first in Spider-Man. If he does die, it will be one of the most emotional scenes in probably all of video game history. Okay, maybe not all of video game history, but it will be very emotional. And that would make Miles the new Spider-Man of this universe, which he already kind of is. So it would end with Peter passing down the torch to Miles. And eventually Miles passing down the torch to Silk. Speaking of Cindy, I think this game could be about her training, or if it's not about her training, that could be in another Miles Morales spin-off game. I think this game could be about her learning how to be Spider-Man, and eventually at the end of the game, she has to stand up to Doc Ock and Green Goblin because Miles is weakened and Peter's dead, according to what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be 3 Spider people in this game instead of 2. My problem with Peter dying is that 1, you lose one of your 3 playable characters. 2, you spend all your tokens on suits for him and he's dead. And 3, there's probably a whole separate skill tree for him, and all that goes to waste. So I don't know how they would make that work, but Peter probably won't die anyway. That's just gonna happen in my head. I don't know, never let me cook again. Did come up with a little bit of an alternative. Okay, so I really like the idea of Peter facing Green Goblin, because they kind of already have that father-son bond, kind of, I don't know. But this fight's been set up. I think it's gonna happen. Next, I think Peter's going to lose to Doc Ock and Miles has to take him down with his Venom abilities. I have less of a reason for this one because Miles doesn't really have anything to do with Doc Ock. So there's a little problem there. But like I said, I'm not a story writer. I just think this is something that could possibly happen in the story. And lastly, I think Cindy could take on some third villain that hasn't been introduced to us yet. What I mean by that is someone we haven't seen before in this universe. Or if they want to bring Carnage into this game, it could be Carnage. Who knows? All of this is just crazy speculation at the end of the day. What I do think, for sure, is that there will be 3 playable Spider characters, and Green Goblin will be the main villain. The rest is just stuff I want to happen, and possibly will. I just really love Spider-Man 2, and I hope Spider-Man 3 can make this the best trilogy ever. And no, I don't really count Miles Morales, because that's more of a spin-off. I do hope that we get some games in between there, or maybe just one game. I heard there's going to be a Venom game, or like a spin-off Miles Morales game that I would like. That'd be really cool. And I hope the DLC for Spider-Man 2 is pretty good. Any music or pictures that I use in this video aren't mine, and all rights go to the creators. I've had some issues with copyright in the past. Well, not issues, just copyright can be annoying sometimes. Pretty sure I mentioned everything I wanted to mention. I think I only left out one thing, and that's I just want to see a redeem Martin Lee. But yeah, if you stayed this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. I make content like this every 2 weeks or so. Or if you like my shorts and decided to check out a long form video and you liked it, subscribe. I have a lot of videos planned for the future and I'm pretty excited. That's a cut.